Okay, we're going to reconvene our public meeting with our new elected board members. The first thing I'd like to do is have the motion to approve a temporary chairperson for this meeting. Tanya, is that a motion, or can we just?
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
Well, who are you nominating?
Who are you moving, Jen?
Oh.
We have to appoint
Go
somebody
ahead
as
and
temporary
nominate
chair.
somebody. Can
We
I
were thinking-
nominate Arlene?
No, we're thinking Jack.
I nominate Jack.
Okay, Jack.
Have a
What I
second?
get for jumping the gun.
That's all right. Now we can have a second.
I'll second Jack.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. All right, Jack, the meeting is now turned over to you as a temporary chairperson. You're muted, Jack. It's going smoothly, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Call for nominations for president of the board.
I'll nominate Arlene.
Second?
That Mike Finley?
Yes.
Connie, do we need a roll call vote or can we?
I can see everyone, so no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 6-0.
Congratulations, Arlene.
Congratulations, Arlene.
Congratulations,
Good luck.
And I will turn it over to Arlene.
Not yet. Let's do the vice VP.
Okay,
Then you have to do the.
call for nominations for vice president.
I nominate Mike.
I will second Mike.
Oh, there we go.
Who was the second? That was Tom Evans?
Yes.
Tom Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No.
Congratulations, Mike. Good
Congratulations.
luck.
Thank you.
Now I'll turn it over to Arlene.
Now we're going to do the oath of office.
Oh,
So Arlene first, if you can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge, according to the best of your ability, the duties of President of the Board of Education of the Bronxville Public School to which you have been elected?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Mike Finley, if you could raise your right hand. Do you, Mike Finley, solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge, according to the best of your ability, the duties of Vice President of the Board of Education of the Bronxville Public Schools to which you have been elected?
I do.
Thank you. Now you can turn the gavel, Jack, over to Arlene.
Arlene, it's all yours.
Thanks.
We should also thank John for his wonderful service as the president
Yes.
the past couple of years. Thank you, John. Great
Thank
job.
you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John.
And I think, thank you very much for that, Tom. I think it's really important to really take that time to thank John for his leadership. I mean, you took us through a second bond referendum and also all the construction project that is going so well. And I know unprecedented is an overused term, but it was really an unprecedented 1920 school year, and you led us beautifully. John and I had a chance to talk a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about the fact that the board is 7 voices that are equal and passionate. And I think that's attributable to you, John, that you've set that kind of culture for us, that we all can contribute our voices equally. And as much as you do that incredibly well, but you've also got a wonderful velvet glove. And so I personally also want to say thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And don't go too far away, okay? Because you're on my speed dial.
I'm heading west tomorrow.
I can still
Covered wagon.
I can still find you. I guess the next agenda item is the approval of the board committees and liaison agreements or assignments, which they were sent out ahead of time. Do we have any questions or comments? If not, I'll take a motion to
I'll make a
approve.
motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Couple Connie, to you now for oath of office for the audit committee.
Okay, so Mike Finley, let's see, is it Mike Finley? No, it's not. It's Arlene and John Atkinson on the audit committee. Is that
I'm
correct?
on it. I'm not sure, Arlene. Arlene, are you on it?
Yeah, I decided I could
Okay,
I did
all
one
right.
name, but John is the chair.
Okay.
John Atkinson as chair, Arlene Thomas and Tom Curran. Tom is not here, so Arlene and John, if you could both raise your right hand. And do you solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge, according to the best of your ability, the duties of a member of the Audit Committee of the Board of Education of Bronxville Public Schools, to which you have been appointed?
I do. I do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item is the adoption of the meeting dates. Once again was in the board pack. A lot of Thursdays, our regular long range workshops, a couple of Tuesdays, just to make sure you're not surprised by those. Any questions or comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
There was one September date that was undetermined. Have we determined that date?
There was a question on the September date because it fell the same evening of the high school council meeting. That was Thursday, September 17th. It's currently on the board calendar. Did you want to change it?
No, I just, it wasn't definitive on the calendar. I didn't think.
Okay. It appears as Thursday, September 17th.
Okay, groovy. Thank you.
Okay, appears that I am under the flight pattern tonight. I apologize for the airplane going overhead. So the next is the approval of the annual appointments, authorizations, and designations, which was a whole long list of a variety of things. Dan, do you want to highlight anything for us?
Yeah, we have a couple of changes, obviously. Under annual authorizations, about halfway down, well, towards the bottom, where it says superintendent to apply for grants and designees. Obviously, all the way to the right, it's not Jennifer Forsberg anymore, it's Brad Ashley. We have to change that one. But these are just annual rote legal obligations for the board that we have to do by appointing certain employees to certain roles that take with them legal authority, I guess. Best way to describe it.
So consistent with what we've done in prior years, correct, Dan?
Exactly, consistent. Obviously, we may have some new people. But other than that, all the roles are the same.
And Connie, we can take them all together. The recommended action seems to put them all together, so we can do them all in one. I'm going to take that as a yes.
That's a yes.
Okay. Any comments or discussion? I'll take a motion to
So
approve.
move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Roy, you want to do annual policy review? The excitement of the budget, the policy, and
Oh,
purchasing?
my favorite topic is the policies. These are the policies listed are the policies that are necessary for the board to approve on an annual basis. They cover, a number of things, but they're pretty much the essential policies that are just a requirement that the board approve without going down all of them, I hope.
There are three of them. They're financial policies.
And they were
the
consensus of the finance committee was that since we looked at a bunch of them the prior year after the controller's audit, there are no changes this year.
And Roy, these are consistent with wherever you pull all of our policies from that?
Yeah, yes, they are. They get anything that that needs to get updated gets updated by the New York School Boards Association. Any questions that we have get run by our attorneys as well.
Perfect. Further discussion? I'll take a motion.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Rachel, impartial, oh, maybe not. You want to? Go ahead, Rachel.
So in the spirit of annual appointments, the board needs to approve the list of impartial hearing officers as approved by the State Education Department. It's actually in alphabetical order. So it starts with the name after the last one that we may have used. So again, these are impartial hearing officers that have been approved by the State Education Department that come in to help mediate any hearings that are needed because of special education disputes.
Any discussion? I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
Who was that? Oh, Tom Evans. Okay, got it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Rachel, you want to keep going?
Yes. So the next piece again is an annual appointment of the members of our Committee on Special Education as well as our Committee on Preschool Special Education. So this covers the chair people who need to be appointed, and that includes me as well as all of the psychologists can function as chair people. And then it also includes any parent members. Many moons ago, it was mandatory that another parent in the district sit in on each of these meetings. Since then, parents can waive their right to have another parent member there, but we still need to have approved parent members. So if a family wants a advocate / parent member at a meeting, they can have it. So you have before you the names of parents for the Preschool Special Education Committee as well as for the Committee on Special Education.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Number 13 is the draft minutes. We have 2 meetings that are included in our papers. Any questions or changes? Not, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Rachel, personnel action items.
Okay, thank you, Arlene. So you have before you a number of action items which are typical for this time of year in terms of resignations and new hires. We have the last of our new hires on this agenda, 2 part-time middle school teachers. And so they are on this agenda. They're each 0.5. They'll be teaching 2 courses each in the middle school. I've also asked you to approve some summer days for any new faculty so that we can bring them in and really start working on curriculum development. Also before you this evening is a list of teacher mentors. I collaborate with the BTA on these decisions after posting them and seeing who's interested. If it's contested, I discuss that with the BTA. It happens that this year there was no contested positions. And then we have a list of curriculum leaders and team leaders throughout the district. I'm happy to say that every curriculum leader is actually the same as last year, which I think is a real testament to the professional development they received and the inroads they're making with their department. So we were very pleased to see that. We have a Spanish lead replacement for the high school. And we ask you to consider 3 students to work in the technology help desk this summer to help us image machines. Also, you may recall that Mara and a few of us spearheaded a book club for students this summer because we really felt it was so important that students continue to read. And so we asked teachers to step up to moderate those book clubs, K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. And I have a resolution before you this evening because 2 of our former psychology interns were interested, but they weren't on payroll. So I need you to approve them so they can be moderators this summer with our students. And then you have before you, as you typically do, the special rates and hourly rates for next year, as well as the special other stipends. One revision to the fall coaches roster, which you had approved last meeting, an additional modified field hockey coach. And then you have before you all of the staff who agreed to work this summer in our special education program. So you have before you agenda items A through P, please.
I just have a curiosity question. I think it was the special service rates includes online instructor supervisors. Given our COVID environment, I was just curious of what those were.
Oh, that's specific for, it's been in high school. And for kids who have an interest in an area that we don't offer, they can find a teacher mentor or an advisor to work with them on that.
Got it.
Do we have any open instructional positions for the fall at this point?
One leave replacement for high school science, and that's already underway.
Great,
But all probationary staff have been hired.
excellent.
Rachel, is the book club voluntary, or is that, how's that working for the kids this summer?
Yeah, it's voluntary for the students.
Okay.
Yeah, not mandatory.
Are you getting a good pickup or is it too early to tell?
I think we did. I think that there were the most in elementary, fewer in middle, and then maybe even fewer in high school. It's exactly what we expected.
Any other questions or discussion? I'll take a motion to accept A through P.
Motion.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Rachel, the floor continues to be yours.
Okay. My last agenda item pertains to a certain agreement between the district and the parents of a student, as we discussed in executive session. And I would like you to authorize Dr. Montesano to execute this agreement as outlined in the other action item.
Take a motion.
so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Dan, to you.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Great. We have the May financial report. I think my surplus projection went down a little bit, but I'm still expecting somewhere between 800 and $1 million. So we're, nice and comfortable. We'll fund the TRS reserve, and anything more we can get into construction, we will. But I expect about $1 million. And then I do have a couple of financial action items. The first is the Keenan Bean resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, re-upping with Keenan Bean. I think our first full year with them. They're more cost effective for us than Ingerman Smith was. We end up spending less with them, although that may change when we negotiate, because Keenan Beans, they had a retainer for negotiations. So we'll see how that works out this year. But I think overall, I think can speak for Rachel and Roy in saying that we're satisfied with the advice we get and the timeliness of it. Their rates for hourly work are still lower than we were paying with Ingram and Smith. I believe there was one small change, but other than that, it's pretty much the same as the prior year. So I'd recommend that we re-up with Keith and Bean for our general counsel again.
Any discussion? I'll hear a motion.
Motion.
So move.
Was that Jack?
I'll second.
Perfect.
And the second item is re-upping with the orthopedic group for athletic training services. There's somewhat of an increase, around 4% or so in the coming year. I think a lot of that has to do with the complexity of athletic training in the coming year. Karen recommends that this is actually still a pretty good rate for athletic training services, and that we accept the proposal from New York Orthopedics.
Dan, if there is no sports season, do we still have to pay this?
I think we would have to sit down and talk to them. I think if a season is delayed, there's still athletic training services for some of our athletes who are in rehab motion. But if a full season gets canceled, I think we would revisit this.
So Dan, that seems to be a pretty important point. And even if the season we don't have competitive play, they may have a different relationship with us. So I wasn't quite sure. I'm with Jen. I wasn't quite sure that we had thought that how that got thought through.
I can talk to Karen about that and get some information for you later in the week. We can table this for next time.
It seems that it ought to be done before it starts rather than at the end of the season.
Can we just put that in the agreement?
Yeah, we can try and change the agreement. We can approve this subject to a cancellation clause.
I think it's a cancellation clause and just understanding how it works with this new environment of COVID. It just seemed like it was same as last year versus looking at it in today's environment.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan,
Yeah,
I think,
and
didn't we
it's
hear
not
you
a
say
small amount of money?
you can spend the next couple of weeks figuring this out and updating the agreement so that we can vote on it in August, right?
Sure.
Why don't we do that? Where you just go to them and say, we need a provision that if there is no sports, that it's reduced.
Yep. We can do that and put it on the August agenda. No problem.
So Connie, do we need to take?
So B is tabled, and we have a motion already for A. That was Tom Evans, second by Jen Russo.
So all in favor of A only?
Aye.
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 Any against or opposed? Okay, A passes, B is tabled.
Got it.
Okay, Dan, continuing on to facilities update.
We have no action items, but construction is ongoing. We've had some complaints from residents regarding some mask wearing at times. It's pretty interesting because we don't allow smoking on our property. So I think some construction workers are going up to the sidewalk with a cigarette and they're taking their mask off to smoke, and we have neighbors saying, gotcha. But, we can deal with that. The work inside the building and at the curtain wall is proceeding as expected. I think the guidance suite and the new lobby at the atrium, they're not going to be ready for the opening of school. I think they're focusing on the internal areas to get us those areas ready. And I think the original timeline had those areas to be ready by, I think, the end of the calendar year, by January. So they're going to be closer to the original timeline, at least on that area. But the internal areas are progressing very well.
Could you give us those projected the original projected dates and what you're just saying now?
Yep.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. I think part of the talking points that Roy's going to give us about return to learn, that would be helpful to include those. Jack, great idea.
It may not be the beginning of school, but we're ahead of when we projected.
Yeah.
That's different than saying we missed our start of school
No,
deadline.
absolutely. We did expect them to still be working in a few interior areas come September. Particularly the cafeteria that we didn't think would be available, but we expect that to be available. And you know, Roy and I were losing a lot of sleep over the curtain wall, which I know if you have a chance to look at it, you can see the new the new cinder blocks going up out there, and it's starting to take shape a little bit. So we're way ahead on that as well.
Maybe you could just give us projected timelines for the major stuff.
Yep, will do.
Yeah, allows us to be a good advocate for you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Items 15. We have our next meeting in late August unless Roy calls us earlier. Were there any committee meetings since in the last 2 weeks?
Think so.
Okay. So Connie, I guess we're to item 16 of the public discussion. Do we have any questions in the queue?
I'm checking it.
Okay.
I don't see any. Brian, do you see any?
No, there's no comments.
All righty. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you again, John.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Thanks,
Congratulations,
John.
John.
Congrats, Arlene and Mike. Look forward to it.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye.